Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be talking about high ground. We're going to go over a few different scenarios that can happen in game. We're also going to go over some high ground retakes, as well as we're talking a little bit about natural high ground. When looking to contest somebody's high ground, there's a few things you need to be wary of. And one is making sure you have enough mats, because when you're pushing somebody on high ground, you're most likely going to get spammed out, and you're going to have to waste quite a little bit of mats just to not get hit yourself. As well, I like to make sure that if they have explosives, I tend not to contest because, say you're building up like this, a lot of times they can sneak a rocket into here and it'll hit you square on and do a lot of damage. And if they're super high up to a point where it's going to be really difficult to build up, I usually just try to go and knock them down. It's a little bit different now with the glider redeploy, but it still can help reset fights if they're up super high. When you're approaching somebody's 1v1, there's a few different techniques you can use. You have this, you also have this, and while these are great, the problem is it's pretty easy to shoot out because there's not a lot of bottom support. So if I'm pushing somebody's 1x1, what I like to do is to kind of hook onto their builds and use it for myself, because this allows you to get that cover from above. So if they do start to spam you, it's pretty easy. You can just hook on to whatever you're building on and pretty easily protect yourselves. So another scenario you might run into in game is somebody who just got out of a build battle, and say they're all the way at the top of these builds. What I like to do to reset a fight is just simply knock down their builds, and this will require them to fly away. But as soon as you knock them down, you can just simply take high ground as they're falling and resetting. Alright, so now I'm going to go over a few different high ground retakes. And the first, I'm sure you've seen in previous videos, but it's one that I like to use the most. And that's for you. And this one's great because it stops them with the pyramid there, and you're also facing back to where you were. So typically you'll be able to either laser them with an AR or shoot down on them. So this one you'll see a lot, and there's a bunch of different variants of it. But essentially use the pyramid as a way to connect a floor, and then you ramp up. And this one's alright, and it allows you to change directions fast because it's a simple 180 and it doesn't require as many mats as doing a full spin. So it is a good high ground retake for 180. So the most important part about retaking high ground is to make sure you're protected. And the way I typically do it, as you just saw in the past clip, is just to place a ramp like that. And it's pretty easy. All you have to do is go to once you're about to the middle of your square, you can just place a ramp while looking straight down, and it places one right behind you. And then as soon as you look up, you can place your ramp in front of you. And this is pretty simple and allows you to stay protected from above. Alright, so now we're going to talk about natural high ground. And there's a lot of things that factor into whether you should even push natural high ground. So a lot of the times it's going to come down to late game, and say the circle is pretty small, and somebody's perched up on top of this mountain. Now, you might want to push them, but there's a few things you should take into account. Whether or not circle is going to move soon, and they might end up getting pushed off, which means you could save a lot of mats on attempting to build up to them, as well as seeing their angle of where they can see from up there. So if they're back that way a little bit, they might not be able to see you building up on the side of the mountain here, which is good for you because as soon as you get here, you can build up to them, and this might take them by surprise and you can get high ground fast. Alright, say circle's gotten pretty small and you have no choice but to push them. There's a few things that you can do if you have it. I recommend using an RPG to send explodes at their builds, because while they're dealing with rebuilding their base, you can just simply build up. But if you don't, you're going to have to use a little bit more mats, and that's when you just use the mountain and kind of latch on. Now the problem is, once you get off the side of the mountain, like you can kind of see here, you're going to have a problem with your sides being exposed. So at this point is when I would turn and make sure that no matter what, you're going to be protected from somebody that's up on the mountain. So before you push somebody's high ground, I recommend looking for a way to reset the fight, like knocking down their builds so they have to come down to you, because it's just going to save you mats overall, and it can help you get a jump off on your opponent. But that's going to be the end of the video here, guys. I hope you enjoyed. Please drop a like, subscribe, leave any comments, because this video was suggested by a comment. So it's great seeing your support, and thank you.